Hi, everybody. This is Debbie Happy Cohen here with Joy Based Living. And I want to start a series about honoring the still small voice inside of you, inside of me. We're raised in schools and in a culture that tells us to listen to just about every other voice except for that still small voice. And one of the things I've been doing for probably about 30 years is honoring that still small voice inside of myself and inside of others. This, I think, is at the heart of the gifts that I bring to other people in my life. I think I was probably that way since I was born. What's important is often not what's spoken and not what's acted on. What's really important is your authenticity and your joy. In our world, we have a lot of people who are very involved in action, 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 action. And they don't take the time to pause and say, why am I doing this? Why is this important? And then there's another segment of people who I absolutely adore, who are very spiritual, committed to meditation and listening and connecting with that larger self. But I think because our culture doesn't really support the outcome of that, the voice that emerges, that is wanting to emerge, ends up getting resuppressed. So what that might look like is, well, in meditation, I keep seeing myself, writing this book or, sharing this idea or doing this program, but then not acting on it. Or it might look like you go to a consciousness meeting and everybody's talking about the importance of really honoring each other and really caring about positive energy. And then that same afternoon, they go to a meeting and people are gossiping. And then someone says, well, we just talked about this morning, really showing up. And they're like, oh, yeah, that was at the meeting. And I would like to be an advocate in your life for that still small voice. To honor it, to tend to it, to nurture it, to nourish it, and to let it come to full blossom. They say what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Well, I think that's what we have control of when we listen to that still small voice. We're listening to the love that we've been given. Because where do you think this still small voice comes from? It comes from deep inside of you, which means it's a gift. It doesn't work on conditioning or reward and punishment. You will be rewarded for paying attention to it. But you're going to have courage first. So the people I'm speaking to here in these videos are people who are either A, just awakening to that voice and curious about it and wanting to tend to it and wanting to garden it and see it blossom. And B, the people who are in the game, who are listening to that still small voice, but who feel alone. And my commitment is that people who are listening to that still small voice and bringing those gifts into the world should never have to feel alone. That a great culture is one where people are actively supported in listening to their deepest truth and having it heard at the table and having it celebrated. And from that, we end up creating a world where there's freedom, true freedom, true freedom of expression, true freedom of joy, And then when that joy bubbles up, it's actually contagious. So at Joy Based Living, I've actually created this community of people who are honoring that still small voice, bringing it to the table of life, and people are doing it in different arenas. So it's not just, oh, I'm just going to be this way with my kids. No, they're bringing it into arenas of healing, healthcare, of real estate, of bringing art, curating art in Tampa. I mean, just in different places in the world, not just keeping it inside anymore, not just having it as a wish or a dream out there. Writing books. People are actually doing these things and it's working. And what we're doing is we're supporting each other so that it's not just me supporting one person at a time or me supporting a group, but it's me holding that vision and engaging a group of people who are supporting each other. And I'm going to say it just one more time. What are we supporting each other and doing is honoring and listening to that still small voice. And I want to show you one building block from the Joy Based Living building block village. It's a blue one, and it says, act in the fullness of presence. Oops, light on there. And on the other side, it says, rest in the allness of being. Rest in the allness of being and act in the fullness of presence. And what does that mean? That means get tuned in, and from being tuned in, get filled up, and then from being filled up, then take action. If you're interested in learning more, please feel free to join me and my friends at joybasedliving.com, where you can learn more and learn how to join us. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.